Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Technic Trials with your host, Nighthawk. This is episode number 42, which is kind of a cool one for me. Uh, don't know if how many of my viewers are familiar with Douglas Adams, but one of my favorite authors. And as any good Douglas Adams fan knows, the answer to everything, that would be life, the universe, and everything, is, of course, 42. So, kind of a cool number, cool episode number for me. Anyway, I'm just going to show off a little bit of the stuff I've been doing on the Ender Farm real quick before we head back to the main base to do some other cool things for this episode. Uh, I went ahead and brought in put in a project table, made a couple of alloy furnaces so that I can continue making the red alloy wire that is so hungrily needed by this project for doing it with the Technic Flare. And I also changed out the wool on the killing floor to cobblestone slabs. There's still one hit kill when the platform is up, and then when we take and move the platform down, whoops, the only thing I don't like about this particular setup is that when the floor is down, then there is a one block drop into it, but they will still be in full kill mode in this configuration. So the benefit here is when when we're working up higher on the platform, or when we're coming into this area, there's no place for them to spawn here. So that will improve matters a little bit, so we don't have to worry about fake ones running around. I've went and moved some of the things around, so I've got our switches back in this little kind of utility closet, and this is where the ladder to get started going up the platform, or up the tower, is at as well. So kind of the idea. I also built a nice little enchanting station so that we can use all that wonderful XP. I do have one spot right here that I need to fix for spawning purposes, but I don't think that will be an issue. I suspect they take more than that to actually spawn. In any case, so yeah, I've got. I went ahead and fixed up the second half of that first level to have the same Tekkit style treatment for the control, and it has the disable switch and reset switch attached to it as well. And so yeah, that's kind of the gist of where we're at right now. So I'm going to pause here and head back to the main base. Oh, before I do that, I also added a fair bit of roof, half slab roof here. It still needs to actually be made teleport safe, but at least it prevents them from spawning there and gives us some safety if we need to kill any real ones or anything like that. So anyway, I'm going to pause here and head back over to the main base and get set up for doing some cool stuff on this episode. I will see you in a moment. And we're back. Up here on the top of the treehouse, actually up on the roof, and thought we would start experimenting with a pretty cool feature of the Red Power mod, which is the frame motors. You can see my texture pack does not have the support frames in it for when they're being held in my hand anyway. So basically what this lets you do is construct structures that can move around on basically independently. So you can have them basically go whichever way or whatever kind of way that you want them to go. And if you build the structure correctly, you can even build things like airships and all sorts of really cool things. So what I thought I'd do here is right now I'm mainly just building a little bit of scaffolding to work around on, and I thought we would start testing out a little bit of the how these frame motors and everything work, and eventually the goal will be to build a airship that we can fly around our little world here. So that's kind of the goal here. What I've done is I've spent the last several minutes putting a whole bunch of recipes into the crafting system for this and getting all of the various pieces ready to go. Um, this is primarily going to be a test run, just to try and get an idea how this will work and how we can move the structure uh, and actually have it move the frame motors and things like that. I think I need to get a screwdriver out. Do I have one here? There it is. So let's go, we're going to make it go this way. Whoops. And what I'm trying to figure out initially is how to build the frame for this so that all of the wiring and um, other components of the system will all move with it, because otherwise I'm not sure how you actually get the motors themselves to move. So this is it'll be a little bit of a test run, and apparently I can't put the solar panels on the frame. So apparently I need covers for this to work at all. So let's see here. There it is. Where did my thing go? And we're going to do... Actually, let's try this. Let's try doing it with stone block covers, just because that's one that I haven't used. And now, okay, so that's how I can put wires on this. Those actually look really cool. I actually really like the looks of the stone block covers. Okay, now we need a bat box that we're going to stick... Actually, you know what? I don't even need that wire there. We're going to put the bat box on it and put solar panels. And that should be charging up the battery box now. Okay, there we see some power starting to come into it. And now let's see if we can hook up some form of control here. And like I said, this is primarily going to be testing, and once we get the basics of how to make this thing work, I'm going to leave this open for the moment, because that might be necessary to make this work. Let's make... Oh, actually, I made levers to do this. I'm going to put a lever right here. Whoops. That didn't seem to do anything yet. I wonder if that's simply because this is going the wrong way. Let's see. And is this now just because the bat box isn't really charged up yet? Or do I actually have to run this as a wire? So let's just do some experimentation and see how to make this whole thing actually work and do cool stuff. That still isn't doing anything yet. Maybe this actually... Well, it dropped the power that I had in the bat box there for a moment. Ah, it tried to move it, but it couldn't move it. Wonder why it couldn't move it. Does it take more power to move the frame sometimes? I may have to do more research on how to make this work. Or am I still... I could still be trying to move the wrong thing, too. What happens if I put... Okay, so that's how it... That moves it to... That moves this part. Now, I wonder... What if we come down underneath of this, take that out for a moment. So now we have two different spots. Okay, so that's going to be a problem. I've got to figure out how to make the frame move without breaking all of the stuff that's mounted to it. So let's do some more trials here. What if... Okay, so apparently this is not powered right now. The bat box has power in it, so maybe that's not actually generating a signal to the frame motor. Oops, this one. Okay, so that's a little bit of a problem. Let's try putting some wire there and... Okay, so, yeah, so much for experiment part 1. Now that was interesting, because I triggered this one to move this frame motor, and because this one is is attached as well, the whole structure moved out from under me. So that's an interesting little tidbit. And I wonder if I were to put the solar panel directly on top of there. Whoops. Let's do this. Let's put covers here. This will keep the frame from sticking to the wool platform. And now we should be able to fill in wool here and work on it without falling off as easily. Okay, let's try this. Put a switch here. Still popped that off, and it popped the solar panel off. So that's going to be the biggest trick, it seems, is figuring out how to get the solar panels attached so that they don't fall off. Interesting, though. No, it must have moved the whole... I wonder. I only made one bat box. I might need to go make another one real quick. So yeah, this episode is going to be a little bit more fail than typically. But it's a really cool thing to play with, so if we can get this working, I think it will turn into something really neat. I may have to do some more research before I can figure out how to make it work. In the meantime, let's see where we're at here. Still got plenty of time here. I'm just waiting for this bat box to come in. There we go. Gonna try one more configuration for the bat box. I need to close this door and this one. And up we go. Let's see here. We want these. Well, I want these. Let's try putting... Oh, actually, I was going to do another bat box here with the solar panel on top of it. And see if we can have the solar panel stay intact that way. Basically by being one unit further detached. And nope, it still popped off. And apparently this is not actually moving. Okay, well clearly I have no idea what I'm doing in regards to the frame motors. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more research before I continue. A little bit more research and experimentation before we work too much on this, just to get it, just to get a working solution going here. And so the problem is going to be actually getting this thing charged. I wonder if I take this out, there's really no way I can put... I just can't put the... I can't put the switches directly on the frames, which is what's causing all of my... That's really causing all of my problems, is that I just can't put the switches directly on the frame itself. it has to go on the a cover, and that's causing it to not be able to connect, or not, it won't stay connected because the block moves out from under it. So I'm not sure how that is, how the airships are supposed to work this way. Anyway, I'll do a bit more research on this and see if we can come up with how to build these properly. And in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy this series. And remember, always know where your towel is. And hit like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great night. Bye.